Good, thank you. This is October 11th, 2012, and I'm going back to 2010. Now, to reconstruct it in as high accuracy as I can, exactly the context, to 2010. Now, I'm going to say at this point, where I am at the moment today, I can't even give it a thought. I'm going to have to clarify that later. Okay? The exact events, I am not able to give. I'm learning about another person. Okay? I am constantly having, it's well on the way of escalating further in the future dates. I will leave that determination up to you. Is there anything I can remember relative to that right now? I've got everything backed up. It will be reconstructed with all of it will come back. There's so much. And there was a lot. I can say continued into 2010. I do not know the specific dates. I know that I got extremely fearful of this guy calling me. And it escalated to banksters, that kind of stuff. It was completely irrelevant substance, having nothing to do with anything. It would constantly be changing, personality changes, day by day. I didn't understand it, but I found out. But what I could tell about the second half of 2011 is where I found out about it. Right around there, right between the two halves of 2011, I would say. Somewhere in there, plus or minus. Extremely scared me. Having a guy, it escalated. About 6-7 months later, it started immediately. I could not, but I forgave, and how many times did that happen? We will be able to construct the files. To complete irrelevant substance. Third, fourth, fifth, I expect more of the same. I don't expect any truth. I have razor sharp recollection. If I really give this a thought, there is that much. Why was it impressed on you so high? Let me say at this point, I'm going to just quickly touch upon 2010 here. My God, these paper records are all in here. I'm not going to be able to take these with me. These are going to stay here. All of these paper records. I don't know the exact date that happened, whether it's 2010, but definitely by 2011. I'm not even opening mail as of today. I'll get up to that. Very important. That's why. I don't want to, impress any dreams or anything to get any recollection of the specifics, but I guarantee you, it will be a very high recollection. I will be fully accountable for me and those responsible for their actions. Now, at this point, I'm going to keep this one pretty short. There is much more. Much more. I don't even want to, the time I'm investing here right now is so, I'm extremely time restraints to it. To an extreme degree, with as much substance I want to get fully documented on these videos. I'm not even at the present day in 2012 yet, and I'm going to get there. You cannot hide body language. It will always, the truth will always set you free. And thank God, I'm probably going to be one of the very fortunate ones. Oh, I know this is just getting started. Exactly. Let's get back to the psychological malpractice that was occurring. I knew nothing in 2010 of anything. I do know I have an evaluation that has no resemblance to what over 35 years. Let's get back to this. Hey, here we go. It looks like my phone and internet will be gone on Monday of next week. This is valuable time that I need to be investing in career only. That set the stage for the career I'm in right now. There we go. That's present day. Let me get over to this one. Oh. There you go. That's where I can definitely pick back up. Obviously, I had a lot going on during the week at that time. That's the last update. That will be proof psychological malpractice was occurring. I will be able to substantiate. Now, I still don't have the files, but I can say back to 3-4 times a year. Yes, this is an indication by now that I pretty much made up my mind. Possibly 4 months, 6 months earlier. So I'm going to estimate by February. By March 2010. There was a breather from one of those great big fights. March. April, it began. It began in March. And he, deleting friends and him constantly contacting my Facebook. And finally it simmered down for a couple of months there. I'm estimating I'm picking up right now in about in April 2010. That I will be able to get very solid recollection. That is where I believe the psychological malpractice started again. Now, I don't know how many times I contacted Jim Harris III. I do have the permanent records, though, in 2009. I don't think there is any. There might be 1 or 2. It took a breather there. I got back in 2010. Same thing. Goes all the way back to 2004. Here we go again with this. Okay. I've been in touch with Jim Harris III many hours. How many? A lot more than just simply, hey, PhD, okay. No. At least a half an hour minimum, up to an hour. There could have been an hour and a half with this, with Jim Harris III on the phone. Remember, I'm talking about the highest level, university professor and all of that. Now, I got to make a phone call, and we'll do that on a separate video of what actually happened. Let me start. I got that reference here. This happens to be, let me show you exactly what this is labeled as. By now, it's very obvious the damage is being done to me. And if I'm, let me just show you this. I'm skipping foresight in relative to 2010, if I would have documented on this page. Look at it. It's obvious at this point. It's the first Google search that you'll find under Richard Moss, Deerfield, Illinois, when you do a Google search, unless things change between now and then when you view this video. I expect none of I'm not promoting any of these videos in any manner, and I'm going to be very careful to hide what is relevant. There we go. I made out 3. It's located right there. Richard Moss, Deerfield, Illinois, .blogspot.com. Google. HTTP, Richard Moss, Deerfield, Illinois, .blogspot.com. Here I am going to start bouncing all over the place. That's that blog. There's a second blog. Homeless, www.homelessbankrupt one last chance.blogspot.com. There's a third blog that I set up. www.richardmossbirmingham.blogspot.com. That's probably where that entry is. I'm going to simply close off this one and go back to the original one I was showing. That will be the Alabama. Well, I didn't actually ever do anything with these. I've lost them completely. I have to go back and open that window up. which I think is relative at this point. Okay, we'll reconstruct the accuracy of all the substance with what I will have accessible in the future. It's all retrievable, all of it. Be very easy to retrieve that. I got to go back here. This is how I'm chronologically, it's present day, doing all these YouTubes chronologically. Very much want to keep them in order because I'm bouncing to different dates, but that's certainly not disorganization in its manner. It's the way I'm retrieving it. I'm retrieving it. A very high recollection, I guarantee you. When I put emphasis, exceptional, that kind of stuff, I can substantiate it. I have that actual blog on a file. You know, even if anything ever happens to it, which once published on Blogspot. And look at that date again. Now, my guess is I actually started this in July. Okay? And I'm taking a guess, a complete recollection. I got 11 minutes, so I'm going to have to do this number 2. It all started with Jim Harris III, and I made 2 more attempts. I probably was in touch 1 or twice in 2009 again. I got right back to him in 2010 and said, get me that PhD. And right off the bat, he looks up entrepreneur. That's basically what he's going by. You got all of the history here with a pen, piece of paper, or a keyboard, or whatever, to organize this so it's going to be thoroughly clear. I would say, without actually looking at the file itself, the date I entered that, I was in touch with him 3 more times. By the time we got up, I'm estimating about April. I'm going to do this on the next video. Okay? Let's keep this one relatively short. I know it's going to be 12 minutes. There's nothing more on this one. The next one will be 2010, number 2. Thank you.